Hello and welcome. The game in the background is F1 2021, but that's not really what this video is about. It's going to be a bit of an in-depth look at the Zandvoort track and I guess its relationship with Formula 1. I mean, the reason I'm doing this video is because F1 2021 dedicated a full race to Zandvoort during its Breaking Point story mode, which I'd imagine is a way of making a big deal about it because F1's heading back there for the first time in a long time this year. Also, as the race doesn't actually happen until September, this game will be a lot of people's first exposure to the track. So using this thought process to leap off, I figured it might be appropriate to find out and share a bit more information about Circuit Zandvoort. So let's start at the beginning, eh? The first Zandvoort race was actually a street race held in June of 1939. Now I'm sure most of you won't be surprised to hear that the race was kind of put on hold for the next few years as they were involuntarily accommodating the Germans' European vacation. On the upside, the Germans left behind some communications roads which were utilised in creating a permanent Zandvoort circuit. To help design the track, ex-British motorist and former Le Mans winner Sammy Davis was brought in as a track design advisor to assist in gluing these existing roads together into a racetrack. Sammy Davis was actually something of a Le Mans legend after he won the 1926 event in a 3-litre Bentley, having crashed it, resulting in a bent chassis. The first race on the new circuit was held in 1948, but wouldn't be run as a round of the World Drivers' Championship until 1952, although this event was run to Formula 2 regulations rather than Formula 1. The first true Formula 1 race wouldn't be held until 1955 and didn't become a permanent fixture until 58. It would enjoy its place on the calendar for 27 more years until finally they could no longer produce a deal lucrative enough to satisfy the hefty pockets of Bernie Ecclestone, and that was that, at least for Formula 1, which wouldn't return for another 36 years. To be fair to Bernie, the track itself was in need of some changes. Housing developments in the town of Zandvoort had grown closer, meaning noise pollution was an issue, and environmental problems relating to sand dunes was also a thing. With F1 gone, plans were then laid down to remove the whole southern section of the track and create a new section on the infield, creating separation from housing and making the venue more compact. This plan was approved by the council, however the company that ran the circuit went balls up, resulting in the unfortunate and untimely death of the Circuit van Zandvoort. The track lay dormant and unloved for a few years as the municipality of Zandvoort considered what to do with the land. Luckily though, during that time a new operating company formed and began working on the remodelling plans. In 1989, Circuit Park Zandvoort was born into the world, and although the track was now significantly shorter, just 2.6 kilometres down from the 4.2 kilometres of the original layout, the track had not been lost to the motorsport history books. But whilst the track had been saved from demise, the new short layout meant that F1 couldn't return as the lap was simply too short. Then, in 1995, the Netherlands government gave the venue an A status, and whilst I don't know exactly what that means, it must be good as A is the highest letter in the alphabet, I think. Whatever it means, the end result was that the track was to be redesigned again so that it could be an international circuit. The new design, which ironically utilised a section of the old abandoned track, was now 4.3 kilometres long and had vastly improved facilities like a whole new pit building, new grandstands, and was completed in 2001. The circuit now attracted rounds of the DTM, A1GP, Formula 3 Masters and more. As a side note, in 2007, surely coming as no surprise to the people involved in the first redesign, noise restrictions were placed on the venue and the Formula 3 Masters round had to be moved for that year and the following, before finally returning in 2009. No serious bids were ever really made to get F1 back to the track. However, in 2018, news broke that Formula 1 had invited Zandvoort owners to make a genuine proposal. In March of 2019, it was confirmed that the championship would finally be returning to the Dutch circuit for 3 consecutive years beginning in 2020 with an option of a further 2. €4 million would need to be spent by the municipality of Zandvoort to get the track back up to F1 specs. Upgrades to the facilities and accessibility were on the list, but most notably was the banking of the final corner and the Hugenholz Bocht. Of course, 2020 claimed a lot of motorsport events, and Zandvoort was no exception. But all things being equal, we only have another half dozen or so weeks to wait and we can finally see F1 cars back on the track. So having now completed a race there, what are my thoughts? Well, the track is fun to drive. I've enjoyed Zandvoort for years across sims like R-Factor, iRacing, Assetto Corsa, albeit mainly driving GT3s, but the track itself is genuinely fun to lap. It has such a great mix, really high speed flowing sections, it has long sweeping corners as well as hard braking zones and tight chicanes. I will admit though that I didn't find this F1 version as good as the previous layout. The banking seems to increase the speed at the expense of skill, and certain sections just seem wider and more flowing and much easier to negotiate. My opinions do come with a huge disclaimer though. Assetto Corsa and iRacing laser scan their tracks. The F1 games, to the best of my knowledge and a quick Google search, do not. This means that it's kind of hard to tell how much of the track has been changed in real life versus just feeling different in Formula 1 because they don't laser scan. But if the track is pretty close to the real version, then I do have genuine concerns about overtaking. You'll have DRS on the front straight, of course, and as long as that's long enough, this will see overtakes, but not the good ones, just the shitty ones where one competitor gets an unfair advantage. You know, the one that stops people from being able to punch above their weight in an underperforming car. You know, the one that just helps the same cars get to the front in every race. Sorry, I got a bit sidetracked there. Anyway, I have concerns that there are very limited overtaking opportunities besides DRS. But I suppose next year sees a ground-up car redesign, so let's wait and see, eh? Well, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and would like to support me, please consider leaving a like before you go. And if you'd like to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. If you're interested in this type of history video, please do let me know in the comments, and be sure to check out my RX-7 and 240Z documentaries, which you can find on the front page of my YouTube channel and in the description of this video. Thanks again, I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye for now.